Hey everybody, Justin Weber, Amps and Sound. Back to this theme of purist audio and honest design. So a, a major inflection point in Amps and Sound's history was when we began work on what we call the Zion, right here. So the Zion was the first amplifier we built on a metal chassis and happened by accident. I helped a family that in Havasu that ran out of gas, and we towed them in our boat back to shore and helped them get gas. And like our day was shot. It was like a 4-hour adventure. But it turned out the person that we helped designed metalwork and cabinets. And so that started this whole conversation and helped me move these designs to metal fabrication work. Why that mattered. So I'm a huge fan of Stu Hegman of Harman Kardon. And if you think the Citation 5 and 2 and what was so important about those designs, or Lafayette's even. So the Citation 5 was a 6L6 amplifier, very, very low distortion. It was probably one of the high water marks for amplification. And when you look at designs in the 90s and 2000s for audio, there was an increasing use of voltage regulators and transistors to get more performance out of tubes. That's not an idea I believe in at all. I think a tube amp needs to stay a tube amp. And Stu Hegman's designs gave that same level of same type of performance levels, but did strictly analog with only tubes. And so for that, it was a really good touch point. Now, the Citation 5 was a stereo amplifier about the same size as this Zion, so 2 channels on this single amplifier. And it suffered from thermal issues. It got too hot, it was too cramped. And so what we did is we took it apart down to 1 channel and then made it a tube power supply. So like this is our tube rectifier. And increased the space such that heat soak would never be an issue. We made it so wiring and repairing would never be an issue. If you've ever seen some of the Citation 5 or 2s, they're very, very dense, and servicing them can be problematic. As good as they sound, as potentially reliable as they can be, they suffered from serviceability issues. What we tried to do was give as much space as necessary to do this job correctly, and that being the principal concern. And then the wiring was, how do we simplify this, and how do we make it exceptional? How do we show how fanatical we are about wiring? And so when you open this up, anybody might think that they can actually fix it, which is beautiful because they're on turret boards and the wiring is dressed and has a loom and is really important. The Zion is an interesting touch point because we took a really good circuit that had maybe too complicated an implementation, and we sought at simplifying. And in that simplification became the value of our contribution to this idea. We try very hard to have execution matter most, and often that means simplest. That's our discipline, and in that discipline shows our workmanship and care. Anyway, thought you guys would like to see it. Thanks.